Hello friends, welcome to Purvanchal IS. This is your first lecture in the course of Society and Social Justice, or I should say this is the 0th lecture, because in this lecture we will be discussing how we can cover society and social justice and how is it going to be covered in this particular course. To understand how these two subjects need to be covered, or I should say the parts of GS1 and GS2 syllabus of the UPSC and other state PCS examinations need to be covered, we should know, considering the UPSC paper, that what is the syllabus of these two subjects and how these two subjects have appeared in the previous year mains question papers. Okay, only after that we will be able to have a clear idea of what is required to be done so that these two subjects can be covered. So as you know, Purvanchal IAS is a venture for sustainable education by Dr. Ravi Agrahari sir and his team. For online classes, you can download the app which you will find on the Play Store, and for online or face-to-face classes, you can be contacting on these numbers. So the topics which we will be discussing today include what is the UPSC syllabus as far as these two subjects are concerned, society and social justice. Why are we discussing these two things together? Because these two have a lot in common, and that also we will be discussing in this session. Previous year trends, what are the previous year trends, how many marks, for how many marks these two subjects have appeared in their respective papers, and how these subjects can be comprehensively covered, and what will be happening in this course. All of that we will be discussing in this lecture. So UPSC syllabus as far as GS1 society goes involves or has these particular topics which are salient features of the Indian society, diversity of India, role of women and women organizations, population and associated issues, issues related to poverty and development, urbanization and their problems and their remedies. If we are talking about urbanization, we should be talking about industrialization also, because industrialization is the first step which is followed by urbanization. So that is also included. So globalization is one very hot topic since many years. UPSC has been asking these questions. Social empowerment, communalism, regionalism, and secularism. So these are the topics which are mentioned in the UPSC syllabus. So let us try to understand what has been the previous year questions trend of GS1 as far as this subject is concerned. So if you have a closer look at the question paper, you will find that a lot of questions have come in the society syllabus of the GS1 paper. You can see this graph here shows for 2015, 16, 17, 18 and 19 how the marks have varied in this particular years. So you can see it has ranged between 62.5 and 75, which is a very huge portion of these two papers. And so this subject becomes extremely important. Often we do this thing that we ignore this particular topic, but what happens is a lot of questions have been asked if you see the previous year trends. So that is the importance of this particular subject. And is it very difficult? Let us go through the questions and try to understand, are these questions very difficult that people often ignore them? So let's see. If we go with the 2015 paper, 75 marks worth of questions were asked in this paper. So you can see the first question is related to diversity in India, which is a direct topic. We are discussing here direct topics which have been asked in the UPSC examination, not linked via some current affair. Direct topics which have been asked, those are being discussed. Diversity in India, you have seen in the syllabus this thing appears. Then there are things related, questions related to population and poverty, sex ratio, tribes in India, this is related to development, scheduled castes. So this forms a part of Indian society, so that is why this has been included. Labor migration within and outside India, so this is related somehow to globalization, so this has been included here. Globalization effect on women, see how intricately two or three topics have been involved, and the effect of each one of them on the other has been asked to be discussed in this particular paper. And then we have things related to caste, and all of these together, if you calculate, there are 6 questions which were asked in 2015, and a huge marking of 75 has been given, huge weightage to this particular subject. Now let's move to 2016 paper, if 2015 itself was not enough. So let's see, the questions were related to globalization, cultural diversity, poverty, scheduled tribes, urban life, regionalism. So these are the topics which directly appear in the question paper, and they are directly from the syllabus itself. So you can see around 62.5 marks, and 5 questions have been asked from the society topic in the GS1 paper of 2016. Now let's move on to 2017 and see what has happened in that paper. So in 2017 also around 65 marks worth questions have been asked here. So you can see questions related to diversity of India, legal initiatives with respect to scheduled tribes, Indian society, women's issues, religiousness, religiosity, and communalism. Questions related to these things which were directly in the syllabus have been asked, and a total of 65 marks worth questions have been asked. Similarly, let's go through 2018 question paper. You can see caste system related questions, poverty, secularism, women's movement, globalization, communalism. So these are directly from the syllabus itself. If you go through the syllabus, we have seen communalism was there, globalization was there, women related things were there in that, secularism was a term of the syllabus itself, and a total of 75 marks worth questions in 2018 have been asked. Similarly, in 2019, if we go through the questions, Indian society, empowering women, secularism, cultural pockets, which is again related to Indian society and diversity in India, challenges for women, and global identity, which is related to globalization. These things have been asked in 2019, and that is worth 75 marks again. So you can see a very high weightage to the subject society has been seen. So let's move on to discuss about social justice. Why should we be studying social justice? Because as we know that even 1 mark makes or breaks everything, whether you're moving into the merit list or not, that can be decided by even 1 or half marks. So we cannot ignore questions and the syllabus, parts of the syllabus which amount for so much of marks. So if we look at the syllabus, UPSC syllabus, social justice syllabus includes welfare schemes for vulnerable sections by center and states, and performance of these schemes, mechanisms, laws, institutions, and bodies constituted for the protection and betterment of vulnerable sections, issues related to management of social sector, health, education, human resources, issues related to poverty and hunger. You can definitely find poverty and hunger every year almost in all of the GS2 papers. So let us see what has been the weightage of these questions as far as the GS2 paper of the previous years has been concerned. So these here you can see the bar graph 2015, again 16, 17, 18 and 19 GS2 mains question paper. The weightage of social justice varies between 40 and 25 marks. So that is a very huge weightage as far as the selections are concerned. If you go for 2015, 37.5, 16 It has come down a little in 17. In 18, you have 40 marks worth of questions and 25 marks in 2019. So let's go through the questions and try and understand whether they are actually related. So questions which are taken here are almost directly related to the syllabus which we have seen. So you can see here questions related to education, health, poverty have been asked. This is from the 2015 GS2 paper. 37.5 marks worth questions were asked, and these are directly from what the syllabus says the of the social justice subject. So here you have 2016 questions where questions related to primary education, primary healthcare, socio-economic development, demographic dividend, and population have been asked. So you can see there are many topics which are in common with respect to society and social justice. You need to study those topics, but you need to answer these papers in a different manner. When you are moving for answering GS1 paper, the approach has to be different. As far as GS2 paper is concerned, the approach needs to be different. Okay, so that needs to be understood very carefully. Of course, you might be knowing the static and the dynamic syllabus of this, but to understand that you need some expertise in this particular field. Okay, so if we are considering 2017 paper, 25 marks worth questions related to hunger and poverty alleviation have been asked. Two questions were asked. Similarly, in 2018 the weightage has gone up, and 40 marks worth questions related to healthcare intervention, vulnerable sections, and hunger have been asked. So you can see again these are directly from the syllabus itself, and considering 2019 paper, we have 25 marks worth of questions, poverty and hunger, and related to welfare schemes directly from the syllabus. So that makes these things very important. And if you calculate as a total maximum marks, if we are going to consider, so 75, or you can say 40 maximum, so around 120, 115, 120, 125 marks worth questions have been asked in the previous years as far as society and social justice topics are concerned. So that is a very huge marking, and this can even make or break things. So that is the reason this is very important. Now that you have understood that UPSC has been asking questions directly as far as these topics are concerned, we need to know how these topics can be covered. So as we have seen, we need to go by the basics. Okay, whenever you are preparing for a particular exam, you should be very well acquainted with the syllabus. What does basics mean? You should be very well acquainted with the syllabus, and you should also know the previous year questions trend. That does not mean we are doing very archaic and very old papers. You should be very well versed with the trend of the previous years, latest years, right? That should be there. So you should stick to your basics first of all. You should know what the syllabus demands. You should know what the question paper demands, and try and understand what are the topics that you need to cover. After that, we need to go for covering the static and the current affairs syllabus and integrate them. So let's have a look. If we talk about going by the basics, as I have told you, you should have your syllabus and the previous year questions handy first of all. After that, you should be knowing what particular source you will be referring so as to cover that particular syllabus. Why should syllabus be taken is that when we are going for a particular examination, we often ignore what the syllabus demands, but we go for what many videos and stuff and other coaching centers tell us. Okay, so we often ignore this. And if you go through, frankly, this is told to you that if you go through the syllabus and the previous year questions simultaneously, you will find that even the questions many times are asked in a sequential manner of as the syllabus has been given as far as the UPSC syllabus is concerned. I'm talking about the mains question paper. Okay, so this thing should be taken care of. That will ensure that you are very well versed of your basics. Now that you know what needs to be covered and what are the topics and the subtopics that are required to be covered, so as far as the syllabus is concerned, you will know what the topics are to be covered. But in these topics, what are the subtopics that are to be covered? For example, women issues is there in the syllabus, but what related to women needs to be covered? Women in relation to globalization, how feminism came up, what are the challenges? These were the questions as we have seen in the previous slides which were asked. So these things need to be taken care of, and that you will understand only when you incorporate the previous year questions in your analysis. Okay, so syllabus will tell you the topic, and as far as the previous year questions are concerned, they will be telling you what are the subtopics. You can even make use of various books, static sources, which we will be discussing mostly for society. The static sources are 11th and 12th class NCERT, and as far as social justice is concerned, that will be mostly from the current affairs only. So these books are recommended many a times so as to cover the static syllabus. Current affairs, of course, mostly newspaper and also government websites and government sources like PIB. These things can also be incorporated as far as the current affairs syllabus covering is concerned. Okay, so now what do you have? You have covered your static syllabus, you have covered your current affairs syllabus. As far as these two subjects are concerned, the tricky part is to integrate these two things. So the tricky part is to have the static syllabus handy and also have the current affairs covered, and to integrate them, not just add them, the integration of them in a very good manner, so that you can even try to predict which kind of questions can be coming in the coming mains examination needs to be done, because you need to be very ahead of the entire crowd, and for that you need to do things which everybody is not doing, right? So that is the need, and if you are able to do that, around 115 to 125 marks are covered or secured as far as GS1 and GS2 syllabus is concerned, and this kind of integration will be very well done as far as the society and social justice course of Purvanchal IAS is concerned. So if you are interested in that, you can be calling to these numbers, and as this is a part of the course also, after this we will be starting to cover the topics of society, and then we will move on to social justice. Okay, so this was the two tell about the importance of these two subjects and how this needs to be covered, and how this course will itself cover these things. What we are doing in this course is the entire static and current affairs has been integrated in a very good manner, and all of that has been presented in this course in a very good manner, so that that will be directly helping you. You can move on directly for the examination, and that we have done in this course, which will be helping, right? So thank you for your valuable time and all the best. If you have any other queries, you can contact us on these numbers for correspondent courses. Hindi and English medium, we teach in both of these mediums, and also have books and material in both these mediums. We have our offline classes taking place in Gorakhpur, UP. You can even attend them. And if you are interested in any of those, you can contact us on these numbers.